portable power bank, wireless AP, SD card, and USB reader for your mobile devices? Check the link in the video description to learn more about the ADATA Dash Drive Air AE400. Now, the obvious thing, the obvious misunderstanding is the Logitech G602 is a follow-up to the G600. It is not. In fact, Brandon was asking me before we started, so for those of you who don't know, Brandon is B-roll. Everyone's decided that they want to use their real names now, so there you have it. So Brandon was asking me, well, okay, what's it like? How does it compare to that other one we have? And I kind of went, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say because the G602 is so different from any other product. Like, what is it? Is it an FPS mouse? Is it an MMO mouse? Is it a wireless mouse? Is it a gaming mouse? Is it this? Is it that? It's a lot of different things. And I really feel like, particularly with Logitech's pricing of this mouse, they've made a lot of other products in the market from other product lines and from their own product line kind of irrelevant. Which is both a compliment as well as something, kind of scary, because from a business perspective, you want, better average sell price, you want, better margin, you want this, you want that. And this is a very value-oriented option that should appeal to almost anyone. So without further ado, this, my friends, is the G602. Buckle my shoe. Anyway, so it takes their new science wins approach to design, which means a couple of different things. Well, most importantly, very, very rugged materials. So the finish on the top is a slightly textured hard plastic finish for the left and right mouse buttons, a rubberized textured finish here for the palm rest, and then a more textured matte black that goes all the way around the right side of the mouse, all the way to the back, and then around the left side where your thumb rests. So this kind of reminds me of their older, like their really old Performance MX, or like their really shapely wireless mice. A little bit in terms of the shape, but much more sleek, more streamlined, lower, more optimized for gaming. Okay, so the whole idea behind Science Wins is these materials aren't going to wear out. The next idea behind Science Wins is other things aren't going to wear out. So these buttons here are rated for 20 million clicks each, which is outstanding. The feet on the bottom are rated for 250 kilometers of travel, and you can tell there's quite a large surface area to them, both around the outsides of the mouse as well as around the optical sensor. Yes, my friends, this is an optical mouse. It is a sort of closer to $100 than it is to $50 optical mouse that only runs at 2500 DPI. And you might kind of go, oh, well, I could get a higher DPI mouse for that money. Yes, you could. But would you need it? This is a return to practicality. Is the DPI race over? Logitech G602 says maybe. Which is fascinating to me because 2500 DPI is more than I've ever used in my life. And some people do particularly like very high sensitivity, but many don't. And some people are noticing issues, particularly with laser mice, which the very high DPI mouse tend to be, and acceleration issues. And we shouldn't see any of that, although I haven't tried the mouse yet, but I'm stoked to turn it on. So also here on the bottom, we're going to find a power switch, so you can turn it off or you can turn it on, but I can't imagine why you'd want to turn it off. More on that in a moment. As well as, check that out, AA batteries. Gone are the proprietary battery packs, and what's even more impressive about this is the battery life of this mouse. Logitech is quoting 250 hours if you have both batteries installed of continuous gaming in gaming performance mode. So like, if you could actually game for 250 hours straight, then you could probably drain both batteries. You don't have to use both batteries. If you want to adjust the weight and the weight distribution, you can install just one battery, either in the right or in the left, and you'll get about 125 hours. It actually says 240 hours on the box, 250 on their website. So let's just assume somewhere in that range, and then half of somewhere in that range. You can also switch it to endurance mode using the switch right here, and then you will actually get, see, green and blue. So in like green endurance mode, you can get up to 1400 hours of battery life on a single charge. So this is a prime candidate for just having a couple rechargeable batteries nearby and basically not even worrying about the wireless aspect. Now they're claiming that it is gaming grade wireless, so no perceivable latency. However, it should be noted that this mouse only does 500 hertz, so 500 reports per second. We've seen gaming mice that are capable of 1,000, but that really raises the question, can people feel the difference between 500 hertz and 1,000? And how would that affect battery life and all those other things? So is this the reasonable trade-off in much the same way that 2,500 DPI is? I'll let you guys be the judge of that, because while I haven't used higher than 2,500 DPI on a regular basis, I do tend to crank my mice up to as high a refresh rate as I can. So now let's go ahead and have a look at the actual mouse, because we've talked a lot about the technology and not a lot about what's on here. So it has 11 programmable buttons, so you can see that there are some very sensibly laid out G keys. This is, again, where I find this mouse to be kind of in between FPS and MMO. If you look at the layout of the buttons on the left, there's enough that you could, get some, some tool belt or whatever bindings going on in there. And there's sort of more than you might need for a typical FPS, if you just need push to talk, throw grenade, melee, and that's about it. But I personally think there's a really good balance because I can actually reach them all. So while an MMO mouse you might want more buttons, the reality of it is you're not going to be able to tactilely feel a lot of them anyway. And this, even with my smaller hands, is very comfortable and very reachable, which is cool. So it's up to you guys whether sort of, again, the race to more actually makes sense or whether it doesn't. On the top, 2 more programmable buttons up here. So these are by default bound to DPI, so you have 5 different DPI settings right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Works just the same way as many other Logitech mice do, but of course you can remap them to macros or other functionality or whatever else the case may be. Oh yeah, accessories, right, I guess that matters. So there's their included wireless dongle, which is extremely low profile, not their universal receiver, which can have up to 6 different devices because this is a gaming grade one. And then you've also got a little extension doodad here, so you can plug it into your USB port and then have it sit somewhere a little bit closer to your mice if that makes you feel better for whatever reason. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, the only thing left is oh yeah, there's a battery indicator, apparently. Right. That would be here, of course. So the only thing left is, what do you guys think? What mouse is this most similar to? What would you compare it to? And are you looking real closely at the G602 right about now? Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos. Leave a like on the video if you liked it. Leave a dislike if you disliked it. Both of those are okay. And leave a comment telling me what you think.